We are told that the restrictions on green card holders, visa holders, and dual nationals will be lifted. Is that enough for this deal to get through the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal?
Those restrictions have already been lifted administratively by an opinion issued by the White House Legal Counsel, which the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said really has no force of law, that the president would have to change his executive order for people in those categories to feel comfortable. I'm confident the new executive order will reflect that. But there are two areas where the government has stumbled. For a variety of reasons, the government stumbled in Seattle, in Brooklyn, and in Alexandria, Virginia. There are actually 4 judicial opinions written against the president. And they're actually helpful because they can give guidelines to the Justice Department lawyers about what the judicial objection is. And so they fit into 2 categories. And one is, how and why did you pick these 7 countries? Well, that's an easy one to address. The president can give non-classified, rational justifications for how and why he picked these. The prior Department of State picked these as well. The Obama State Department said these are the countries from which most of the evildoers come. The second one is a little bit more nuanced. The second problem is this a religious ban? If you read it, it's not a religious ban. It doesn't target a religious group. But the courts have used candidate Trump's words against President Trump in a manner I have never seen before. And they have taken some of the most incendiary things that he and some of his fellow campaigners have said during the campaign and said, you see, this is a religious ban. You promised this when you were a candidate.
I've got to say, Judge, I'm a little frustrated because all this is going over my head. Here's what I want to boil it down to.
I doubt anything I say goes over that head.
Well, whatever. If there's a new executive order and it shapes up the way we think it's going to shape up, and it's rejected by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, I think we've got a constitutional crisis, because it will now mean that the courts dictate who the president is allowed to stop from coming into our country, and that's unconstitutional.
Agreed. I fully agree with you, because the area of foreign policy is uniquely the president's.
Yes, exactly.
It's not even the Congress, it's the president. He decides who our enemies are, who our friends are, and Congress has given him tools with which to make those decisions. And one of those tools is the ability to suspend immigration. And the courts should defer to the president's judgment.
Absolutely. But if they don't, then we've got a long period where people from these 7 countries, failed states, can come into this country.
It will be difficult for them to do so if the new executive order addresses or accommodates the concerns in the Ninth Circuit. Why? No court in the country is going to write an opinion more anti-Trump than the Ninth Circuit did. If he accommodates those concerns, he wins.
I wonder who's liable if the courts delay everything and some bad guys come into this country on those visas from those 7 countries and they murder Americans. Who's liable?
You're not going to want to hear this. Judges have absolute immunity.
No liability whatsoever.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it at that.
I liked that one.
I'll leave it at that.